Hey everyone, it's Ardith. Thanks for joining me today. Today I've got an ink-blended Christmas card with some sparkle for the Split Coast Stampers Featured Stamper Challenge. I started by stamping and embossing some Gold Essentials by Ellen poinsettias on a panel of watercolor cardstock. Then I grabbed my Rockin red ink from Catherine Pooler Designs and a medium-sized oval blending brush, and I laid down some ink all over the poinsettias. I used a light hand here because I knew I was going to add more color with layers of different inks. I moved on to a smaller brush with Peppermint Scrub, which is a darker red, and I put that closer to the flower centers. And then on to an even smaller brush and Royal Treatment in the very center. Royal Treatment's a deep purple. I love the unexpected tint of purple in the centers of these flowers. It adds depth and interest. Before I moved on to the green inks, I gave the brushes a quick scrub on a paper towel to get rid of most of the red and purple inks. When I'm finished the project, I'll clean them on a baby wipe, but I've been wondering about using my old stamp scrubber. I'll try that next time. I also wiped the red ink off my glass media mat. Since I usually tap the brush there before I blend onto the cardstock, it would contaminate the green ink. Finally, just to be sure, I inked up the brush with my first green color, and I gave it a quick trial run on the paper towel. I used the medium brush and green tea to begin with, and as I blended over the panel, there was definitely some mixing with the red ink already there. I tried to keep the green as clean as possible by staying away from the flowers. Once I had the lightest green down, I moved to Eucalyptus and the small brush to add some richness. Finally, I used Spruce for some real depth and shadows. Since this ink was darker than the previous one, I didn't change brushes. To achieve the textured look of the inspiration card, I spritzed the panel with water, waited a second or two, and then lifted the water with a paper towel. And then realized that what I had been thinking all along was true. These poinsettias didn't have enough definition. Hey, that happens. Plans don't always work out. And by putting on my thinking cap, I came up with a solution. I pulled my Rockin red back out and got a paintbrush and some water and filled in the petals. This wasn't what I had planned, but by using quite a bit of water with the red ink, the underlayers of the different shades of reds and purples and greens glowed through and gave the translucent red layer some variation and interest, and I ended up quite happy with it. I also added some sauna ink to the centers to warm them up a bit. Once it dried, this ended up having a very subtle effect, but the gold embossing works well with it. Next, I wanted to add some glitz and glam, so I put down a strip of 1/2-inch score tape onto my panel, and I made sure it was well adhered. I have this new wow glitter called Oh Gosh. It's red and gold and oh so sparkly. I removed the backing from the tape and poured the glitter over top, just like I would with embossing powder. I used a scrap piece of paper to burnish over the top of it and make sure that all the glitter was really stuck down. Last week, I realized I had lost the Y from my classic block alphabet die set, and this week I've partially solved the problem. The block words dies has job and U in it, so I just cut them out and got some joy. I used temporary adhesive to attach my letters to a thin strip of cardstock which I used as a handle. Then I coated the letters with wow embossing ink and sprinkled gold embossing powder all over it before heating it with my heat gun. Embossing the letters like this means that they match the outlines of the poinsettias perfect. I had to think about how to best adhere these gold letters to the sparkly strip on my panel. I figured liquid glue would settle into the nooks and crannies and give a good hold, so I lined the letters up and picked them up with the post-it tape before using the Lawn Fawn glue tube to apply dots of glue all over the backs of the letters. Then I realized I couldn't actually see where the letters were as I tried to position them over the glitter strip, and I needed to remove the tape and wiggle the letters around. So I'm not sure this way was any better than just putting them down with my fingers. Oh well, live and learn. Here's a close-up of the letters on the glitter. I think this sparkly strip just kicks this card up a notch, don't you? To finish the card, I glued the panel to an Essentials by Ellen Slate card base. I don't think it needed any more than that. I hope you enjoyed this video. Using tape and glitter to add embellishment is a fun way to give your cards a festive sparkle. Shopping links are below and on my blog. Thanks so much for watching. Have a great day.